how do you go from this to this? The Year 10 session called 7 Steps to Motivate Yourself looks at how to access inner motivation, develop resilience and success habits. We look at some of the research from the psychology of peak performance. Some of the things we'll look at, and this video is a short overview of the presentation, is we'll look at 7 strategies to access motivation, 3 keys to motivation, focus, emotion and peak performance. We'll also look at brain research. We look at some of the latest research of neuroplasticity and that our brains are like muscles, and with any muscle in the body, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. We'll also look at changing our mental focus. We'll look at 2 strategies. First is how do we shift not just the images we see in our mind, but how we're focusing on things, particularly negative things. And we will go through an activity to change that state, and we'll experience that in the workshop. The second way is looking at the questions we ask. When we ask empowering questions, it can shift our mental state. Here are 3 questions that you can ask that can help you refocus. So the first one is about outcome. What do you want? What are your goals? And then we also need to back that up with purpose. Why do we want that? Why is that important? And also, what do I need to do to go about and get this? What's my strategy? What's the plan? So these are 3 questions that when you ask that can help change your mental focus and get you to refocus on what it is you really want. We'll then also look at 7 steps to motivate ourselves. The first one is desire and pleasure. We look at how there are 2 common needs that drive human behavior, and that's pain and pleasure, which is the second strategy, and how to use those to help us access inner motivation. We also look at we become interested in tasks, particularly if we're not interested, and how to lift our energy levels so we can be motivated. We revise some of the work we did earlier in the presentation in this section around empowering self-talk. Make sure that we have a strong peer influence. I talk to the students that we become who we hang out with. And then the final strategy is the chunking approach. Often we become very overwhelmed, and we look at how we can chunk our work into very bite-sized and small parts. So 3 keys to motivation. Essentially, we look at confidence, and that if we lack confidence and we don't believe that we can succeed, often we get to what's the point in trying? Lack of focus. So look at direction. The lack of direction, if we don't know what to do, how can we be really motivated to do it? So to find out more about the 7 Steps to Motivate Yourself session for Year 10 students, go to www.humanconnections.com.au, email info@humanconnections.com.au, or call 0425 365 294.